Being muddy here. It's always a sad day to see a tractor like that. Oh, my shadow's in the way. Always a sad day. But when it's done, oh, you wait. There's plans for this. I'm not telling you all the plans for this yet, but there's plans. Anyway, I went out for a test romp on Sunday, and the Craftsman did really well. The knock on the motor got a little bit louder, started burning a little bit of oil. That part wasn't so well. The rest did really well. Rear end held up great. No issues with the rear end. Cannot complain about the rear end so far. But anyway, this is what now the motor of the Barn Find Craftsman that I have now officially named Bucky. Because I tell you what, I don't know what it was about it, but this thing was crazy bucky through the woods, hitting roots and crap. It could just be our trails, but I was all over the place. I was bumping up and down, and I don't know if you remember, but this is what made me think of it. This is the horse head on the front. Just popped in my head on one of the Bucky moments. It's like, whoa, Bucky. And now there's a name. Stupid ways to come up with names, huh? So anyway, I was going good. I had a few holes that went great, and a couple I got a little stuck in. I had to get a little help out of. One I actually just got off the tractor and walked it out in low. But the motor started acting up. It was doggy. It wasn't doing so well. It would run great for a second, and then all of a sudden go be doggy, then great for a second, then doggy. So shit just wasn't working right. So anyway, I was about, I don't even know, maybe a mile max from my return destination, and she quit. Just done, stopped working, had no power, had nothing, shut off, turned it back on, made a shit ton of noise, so I shut it off and I got towed out of the woods. Well, anyway, this is what I found now that obviously I have this completely torn down all the way. I mean, everything's out. Everything. Ooh, excuse me. But what I have found is this piston and this piston. I don't know how well you can see it on a video. Actually, I think you can see it pretty well. See how rough this piston looks compared to this one? I believe this is stock. This is aftermarket. I don't know if there's a left and a right to the pistons, but if you look at the inside of this one, which is really cuckery, which is the one that had this piston here, is the one that had the bad head gasket as well. And there's no numbers or anything down there, nothing like that. And you look at this one, much cleaner. That there, you can't really see it, but that's a 25. Let's see if I can't get it to focus. No. And then on this side, that one you can see, is a 40. And there's a 3 and an X. And then obviously the 42 that we saw earlier. So, like I said, this one don't have any of them, so that makes me believe that it's the aftermarket. The casting on this one's completely different. than this one. Oh, no, that's just the wrong side. Wrong side. But you can see this one is a lot. This one actually is different. See, there's 2 holes here and not 2 holes here. But the roughness of both. This one here is nice and smooth. This one here is wicked rough. But they both say 42 on the actual piston rods. 42, 42. You flip these this way, and you get the side angle. See the difference there? Different. I mean, that looks similar, except that side has a little half moon. This one don't have a half moon. And this one's got a half moon on both sides. This one completely scored to hell. I'll show you the jug in a second. But this one is the one that I believe to be the aftermarket. And this one here, this one's not bad. The cylinder wall is a lot nicer on this one than it is on this one. The other thing I got here, I got noticing, is you see that gap? I'd say it's about 1/4 of an inch. And then this one, I'd say is probably about 3/8 of an inch. Here's a side by side. Someone's been in this motor before me. Someone's replaced the piston. They said, this one's got numbers on the inside. This one has nothing on the inside. It's a lot rougher. That was a lot rougher. These are the bolts that came out of this one. And these are the bolts that came out of this one. Okay. Then the bottoms, those aren't so great on either one. Where they actually connect to the crankshaft. Those aren't so hot on either one. This one's a little better. But these were so loose that, I mean, I could have sneezed on them and they came undone. That was the knocking that I was hearing. That's from what I believe anyway. The crankshaft itself, there's some scoring on it, but I don't know if that'll clean up, if it's just the aluminum stuck to the steel or if it's actually in the steel. I'll have to take a wire wheel and, you know, find some fine sandpaper and see what I can come up with there. If not, I do have a complete-ish vertical oppie that I can take the crankshaft, the pistons, it needs to be cleaned. It's been sitting for a little while with no heads on it, so it's a little cuckery. But I should be able to use the pistons. I should be able to use the crankshaft. I'll have to get new piston rings and new head gaskets and seals and whatnot. But I do have another motor that I can take the internals out of and put into this one, because there is the slight differences in the actual head, this whole system. You could make that one work, but it's slightly different. I think you can make it work. Don't quote me 100%. I don't think, but it's possible that you can make a vertical shaft oppie a horizontal shaft oppie. as long as you have parts from a horizontal shaft. Because if you don't, like this is how it mounts to, this is the oil pan and how it mounts to the actual tractor. The way this one mounts is different. But this section of case is similar, and these bolts seem like they line up. Not 100% sure because I don't have this one apart yet, but I will find that out. I mean, like I said, this thing's been apart before. This is the decent cylinder side. I don't know if you can see all that well. Yeah, probably not with my phone. It doesn't pick it up very good. But it's the carbons. It's built up pretty good. I mean, pretty yucky. The other side, let's try this way. That is the only spot in the whole cylinder on this side, which was the aftermarket piston that I believe to be was on this side. I know it was on this side. I just believe that one is the aftermarket. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I believe. So I'm hoping I can hone that out, get new rings, swap that motor, pistons, crankshaft, put it in this motor. Because I'd like to keep the original, for the most part, original motor. I don't want to have to modify that one because I won't have a dipstick. It'll be weird. You know, the way that this one is, where the dipstick go in on this one. Dipstick, right there. Dipstick goes in there. Okay, which is on, actually on, we'll call the oil pan. Right there. So that's right there. Right there. On mine, which is the actual horizontal, what they did was they put it right there. So it's slightly different. It's in a different area, but it's still in there, I guess. Because that one, the dipstick is on the motor pulley side of a vertical. This one is on the motor pulley side of the horizontal. A little different. I mean, you just wouldn't have a dipstick. I think it would still work, but you just wouldn't have a dipstick. You'd have to change that. You'd have to change that case, which is the case that that's the governor, I believe, part of the governor, and get all the other parts too. Everything's sorted out. But the head gaskets, let's see, which one was the right one? This one here, was it this one? One of them, I don't remember which one, but both gaskets don't look that great. One of them, I can't find it at this moment in time, had a blowout in it. But anyway, oh, the other thing, once I finally got all this apart and I got all the rest of the cucker out of the back of this thing, I did find out that my kill wire did get chewed on when the mousies lived in there. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. The kill wire did get chewed on a little bit. Right there. I'm surprised it didn't ground out because it was like real close to the case housings. And it would actually be this housing here that's underneath all that. But anyway, like I said, I'm gonna put this one all back together, put it all back on the tractor. Not sure if I mentioned already in this video, if this was just on Facebook, but I am going to be turning this 90 degrees and running off of the actual, well, it's still going to be the crankshaft no matter what, but not the flywheel side. Right now, I run off of this. If you're sitting on the tractor, looking forward, this is how you see the motor. This is the flywheel. This is where the electric PTO would have been. So now, this is how the motor goes now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the motor 90 degrees so it faces that way. And this will be the flywheel. And this side will still be your, well, this side will now be my motor pulley side instead of running off the flywheel. Because in these oppies, they run off of the flywheel with this dealie. That all gets bolted to the flywheel, and this here is your actual motor pulley. Which is your flywheel, so it's funky with these ones. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it sideways. I've got told this will work, so I'm going to try it. I'm going to turn it sideways, and I'm going to try that out. We'll see how that goes. I got a couple ideas after I turn it sideways, but I want to get this motor running again before I even attempt and try my other ideas. So that'll be in a later video. I'm going to leave that one as a little secret, we'll call it. But I mean, other than that, the rest of it's good. We're going to have to little hone out on one side, get new piston rings. Those pistons hopefully are good. If not, I'll have to get new pistons too. New head gaskets. New gasket for here. The camshaft is good. Everything else, the coil's still fine. I'm just going to tape that up so it don't ground out. Stator's good. That's over here. That's still in good condition. I'm going to end up getting new spark plugs, just because them ones were on it when I got it, so I might as well get some new ones while I'm putting everything else new. I am going to get rid of the governor. I'm going to be running a Mikuni style. I think I made a video on what I was going to do, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the intake manifold off of the vertical shaft, which is right here. Look at that. Check them. Check them all. Like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends. Everybody on this fridge is good guys. Check them out. Anyway, here is the intake manifold for the horizontal. Well, it'll go this way. But here's the intake manifold for the horizontal. No, sorry, this is the vertical. This one's the vertical. This is the intake manifold for the vertical. When you have a horizontal, you can put it on just like so. And now you can put a Mikuni style carburetor just like that. Simple switch. And it goes vice versa too. You can take the horizontal, because the horizontal is this way, and you can put it on an oppie vertical, which will take it and spin it this way and give you a mounting for a Mikuni style on the vertical shafts. That's something that me and my brother-in-law have been thinking about, and now that I got this motor to this point, I figure I might as well try. I'm gonna also, let's see if we can't get a shot of that. I'm also gonna clean up all that rough edges, obviously all the black, but see, I'm not gonna be able to get my finger in there to show you. Maybe not. Oh, right there, you see these edges that are all cuckery? Those are the casting marks. This is the intake port. I'm going to take the Dremel and clean them up a little bit, get a little better airflow. But pretty sure that is pretty much, without telling you my later on date plans for the tractor, I think that's pretty much it. Other than that, he said the Mikuni's going on it. I'm most likely going to run a different exhaust because I don't think the factory exhaust will work when you turn it 90. So I'm probably going to have to make my own exhaust. Not a big deal. I do plan on going bigger on the motor. That was the original motor pulley, which is a 4.5-inch pulley. I would like to be able to get up to a 6 or a 7 if I can, but I don't know if I can. Turning it sideways is going to make some new complications. Plus the plans I have make new complications. So we'll discuss that once this motor is running again. So until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. Beard and Mutter out. Have a good one.